Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Coder. I'm Chris, and today we are going to continue on with our Pac-Man clone. I was actually debating on whether or not to take a break today and upload a different kind of video because, as you may or may not have noticed, the Weekly Coders finally reached 500 subscribers. So that's pretty awesome, right? I mean, yeah, to think that actually like 500 people, or actually more now, I think it's at 503, but that many people actually care about the tutorials I make and enjoy them enough to want to subscribe and to see what I put out next. So that's actually extremely rewarding for me and gives me the motivation to continue to post these tutorials. And in such a consistent way that they are going to continuously be, uploaded Sundays and Wednesdays. This is fun for me. I love doing this, and knowing that you guys are out there and that you're enjoying this content makes it just that much more fun. I'd be doing this either way, but, you guys supporting me and showing that you care actually means just so much to me, and I want to thank everybody for subscribing and for commenting and for asking questions and for liking the videos. It just means so much to me. So the next goal, let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers, right? So help spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell your coding buddies, and help me out. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, that's the next goal. We want to continue to just grow and get bigger, and get more tutorials, and let's do that. Let's grow. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. All right. So that said, I decided that just talking about how many subscribers I have would have been rather just a boring video. It would have been extremely short, and it would be completely just kind of saying, hey, I don't feel like doing a video today, but thank you all for subscribing. I am not like that. I don't want to do that. However, next week on Saturday is my birthday, and Donna, my fiance, and we are going to be celebrating our birthday on Saturday, so we're probably going to be hungover on Sunday morning. So, needless to say, there may not be a video next weekend. So I think I'm going to take a weekend and just not do any tutorials, just to kind of get a break, because I've been doing these every week nonstop, and I need to be able to kind of relax a little bit and let loose and enjoy myself. And I figured, since it's my birthday and everything else, I feel like I should, I deserve a day off. So, hope you guys are okay with that. Now, on to business. We stopped with our last tutorial with basically writing the ghost script and making it so that Blinky, which is the red ghost, kind of follows Pac-Man around the board. We have him starting at an unusual position right now, which is not actually going to be his starting position. His starting position is actually going to be up here, right outside the ghost house, which is this right here, is where all the ghosts are going to be. So we've kind of got him following Pac-Man around, which is actually his complete AI. His complete AI is following Pac-Man around. So there's not really much that we need to do to actually modify his AI. We're going to create a method specifically for his AI, but there's nothing else we need to do to make him follow Pac-Man around. That's already done. The other ghost that we're going to be dealing with is going to be Pinky, and that's the pink ghost. He is released right after the red ghost, Blinky, and his AI is a little different. What his AI is all about is being 4 spaces ahead of Pac-Man in the direction that he's going in. So if Pac-Man's here, then Pinky's target tile is going to be 4 spaces in front of him. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is where Pinky is going to be. This is where Pinky is trying to get to. Now he's going to continuously move, right? Because this is not an actual intersection where he can make a decision of where to go next. But once he gets here, okay, he's no longer 4 spaces ahead of Pac-Man, so he's actually going to go somewhere else. where he's going to be 4 spaces ahead of Pac-Man. So he'll probably go this direction since he can't go the other way because he's not allowed to. Ghosts are not allowed to reverse directions. So he's going to go this way if Pac-Man continues to go that way. So then once he gets up here and Pac-Man's over here, he's going to probably, well, the only direction he can go once he gets here is this way. So then once he gets here, he needs to make a decision depending on where Pac-Man is. So depending on what's closest to get him to his target tile is the direction he's going to take. So either this way, that way, this way. Actually, he can't go this way, sorry. He can either go that way, this way, or that way. So that's going to be Pinky. The next tutorial after this one is going to get into the last 2 ghosts, which are going to be Clyde and Inky. So that's the orange and the blue ghosts. So we're not going to get into those in this tutorial, but we're going to get with Pinky, and we're going to make him be in the ghost house to start with. We're going to start the red ghost right outside the ghost house right here. After a specific amount of time has passed, Pinky is going to be released from the ghost house and go up. And after that, I think that's going to be it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to actually have to do is we're going to have to create a node for Pinky to be at inside the ghost house. So I'm going to just copy this node here. Okay. So we're just going to duplicate it. So duplicate. I'm going to move it into here. And we're going to set that at position. Oops. What did I just do? Oh, I collapsed transform. We're going to move it to position -3. Oops. Okay. And we might as well create the other one. And actually, this one is not going to have... The only neighbor this one's going to have is the one above it. Okay. So we can get rid of these other 2 elements here. So we're going to change our array size to 1. And we are going to change the element 0 to be this one here, which is pellet 194. So we're going to go back over here. I go here. I'm going to find pellet 194. Alright, so now that is its neighbor. So that's how Pinky will know where to go next. He's going to go just up here. So let's go ahead and move Blinky up to his node. And that position is going to be at 12 for the X and 19 for Y. Alright, so we've got that squared away. Now what do we do? How did we do this? We went to scenes. No, I'm sorry. Having a moment. I've got Blinky in here, and we set pixels per unit to 16. So we're gonna bring in Pinky, right? And we're gonna set also pixels per unit to 16, and we're going to change the filter mode to point. Press apply. And we're going to go ahead and drag Pinky out here. And Pinky is now here. So we're going to create a prefab of Pinky. Pink ghost. Alright, and we're going to need to attach the ghost script. Oh wait. Okay. Alright, so we've got Pinky and Blinky. Alright, so we're going to move Pinky down to his node inside the ghost house. And set X to 12 and Y to 16. Alright, so now we've got all the visual stuff is done. So now we need to go into our ghost script. Okay. And we need to add some things here. We need to add a release timer. Actually, we need to add a ghost release timer. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a public, and it's going to be a float. And we're going to call this ghost release timer. And we're going to set that to 0. And then we're going to create another public float, or integer, we're going to create an integer this time. And we're going to call this Pinky release timer. I'm going to set that equal to 5. So basically, after 5 seconds have passed, we want to release Pinky from the ghost house. We then also need to add a flag, which is going to be a bool, and we're going to say is in ghost house. I'm going to set that to false initially. And then we need a way to differentiate these ghosts. So we're going to create another enumeration. And we're going to call this ghost type. And public would help if I could spell. Oh, that's really bad now. Public. Okay. And we're going to have a red ghost. We're going to have a pink ghost, a blue ghost, and an orange ghost. And then we're going to instantiate the ghost type by creating a variable for it. So public ghost type, and we're just going to call it ghost type. And we're going to set its default value to red. And now what we need to do is in our start method, right here after this if statement, we're going to say if is in ghost house. So basically, if the ghost is in the ghost house, we're going to set the direction to vector2.up, because that's the direction he's going to have to go in, okay? And then we're going to set the target node equal to current node dot neighbors 0, okay? And that's because there's only one neighbor in the index, and that's for the node that's above him, all right? So if the ghost is not in the ghost house, meaning Blinky, we're going to set the direction to vector2.left, and we're going to set the target node equal to choose next node. And now what we need to do, we need to actually get rid of all of this code here, okay? Because we're getting target nodes set by doing this if-else statement here. And this is what we used before we wrote this code. So we're going to get rid of all of that, and actually the debug log as well. So let's go ahead and delete those out. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to also go to choose next node, and we're going to remove this vector2 Pac-Man position and target tile. Actually, let's create another method first, okay? We're going to create 2 methods. And those methods are going to be to get the target tiles for the red ghost and the pink ghost. Okay, so we're going to call this vector2 is what it's going to return, and get red ghost target tile, and vector2 get pink ghost target tile. And then we're going to create another one called get target tile. Okay. And all that all that target tile is going to have is basically we're going to set a target tile here, and we're going to set that equal to vector2.0 to set it to 0 initially, and then we're going to check to see what ghost type we are. And if we're ghost type dot red, we're going to set that target tile equal to get red ghost target tile. And then we're going to do else if ghost type equals ghost type dot pink. And we'll set the target tile, oops, equal to get pink ghost target tile. And then we'll just simply return target tile. Okay. Alright, so we're going to fill in the get red ghost and get pink ghost target tile methods in a bit. First, we're going to go here to our choose next node, and we're going to remove this stuff right here, because this right here basically sets a static target tile to always be Pac-Man. Okay, Pac-Man's always the ghost target tile, but since we have different ghosts now, we need to set different target tiles based on the different ghosts. So we'll delete these two lines, and then we're going to replace them with target tile equals get target tile. So the target tile is now set by this method, which basically creates the target tile, and then depending on which ghost type we are, picks these methods, which are going to return a target tile, which is going to set this target tile. This target tile is going to be returned and be assigned to that target tile. So now our target tile is equal to this. All right. So let's go ahead and fill in the get red ghost target tile and get pink ghost target tile methods. So for the red ghost, it's going to be pretty much what we already know, right? So vector2 Pac-Man position, because he's just going to follow Pac-Man around wherever Pac-Man is. So we're going to use our Pac-Man variable that we created that references the Pac-Man game object, and we're going to just do transform.local position, and that gets Pac-Man's position. And then we're going to do vector2 target tile equals new vector2, oops, vector2 mathf.round to int, and Pac-Man position.x, and then we're going to do this again, mathf.round to int, which basically just rounds Pac-Man's position to an integer. Pac-Man position.y, okay, and then we're just going to return target tile. Alright, so now for the pink ghost, we're going to do this, kind of the same thing. So remember, he has to be 4 tiles ahead of Pac-Man. And we have to take, taking account the position and the orientation, because Pinky has to be in front of Pac-Man 4 tiles. So if Pac-Man's going up, Pinky has to be in front of him going up. If he's going left, he has to be in front of him going left. So we have to know the orientation. So again, we're going to get vector2 Pac-Man position. I'm going to set that equal to Pac-Man transform.local position. And now we're going to get the orientation, Pac-Man orientation. And that's going to just equal Pac-Man get component. We're going to get the actual Pac-Man script component from the Pac-Man game object. And then we're going to get the orientation, which we obviously haven't set yet, but we will. Now we're just going to make it a little easier on ourselves, and we're going to say int Pac-Man position x equals mathf.round to int Pac-Man position.x, and then we're going to do the same thing for y. Pac-Man position y equals mathf round to int Pac-Man position.y. And then we're going to do, we're going to figure out where Pac-Man is. So Pac-Man tile, new vector2, Pac-Man position X, Pac-Man position Y. Okay. And then we're going to actually set the target tile. So our target tile is going to be the Pac-Man tile plus 4 times Pac-Man orientation. And I'm going to explain that. Just give me a second here. So we're just going to return target tile. All right. So the way that we're doing this math here is we're multiplying 4 times Pac-Man orientation, because remember, Pinky has to be 4 spaces in front of Pac-Man, okay, the direction that he's going in. And Pac-Man's orientation is a vector 2. And that vector 2 can either be up, left, down, or right. So we're either going to have 0 and 1 for up, 0 and -1 for down, -1 and 0 for left, and 1 and 0 for right. So multiplying the vector 2 by 4, okay, what we're essentially doing is we're multiplying by 4 the x and the y. So let's just suppose that Pac-Man's orientation is going up. So the vector 2 is going to be 0 and 1. So we multiply the vector 2 by 4. So 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay? So then Pac-Man tile, which is also a vector 2, we're going to add 4, okay, to that vector 2. So the Pac-Man tile is currently x and y, right? So, yeah, x and y, Pac-Man's x and y position. So if we add 4, actually we're getting a vector 2 here. So we're going to add 0 and 4 to this tile. So if Pac-Man's at 1, 2, then what's going to happen is Pinky's target tile is going to be at 1, 6, okay? Because we're not adding anything in the x. So that's how we get the target tile, and that's what we're going to return when our ghost type is pink, okay? So now we need to jump over and check out what's going on with orientation, because I could have sworn I had already added that. So we need to go back to Pac-Man, to the Pac-Man script, scroll up a little bit, and we have direction, okay? So let me look at something here. Alright, so after reviewing my notes, we're going to have to add orientation to a couple of places here. So the first thing we need to do is, let's go ahead and create the variable. Okay, so public vector2 orientation. So at the very start, after we've got direction, we're going to go ahead and set orientation equal to vector2.left. Same as our direction. Okay. And now in the update method, we've already got an update orientation. We've already got an update orientation method. Well, that's interesting. So update orientation then as this. All right. So what we need to do is in here, we're just going to add in orientation equals vector2.left, and orientation equals vector2.right, orientation equals vector2 dot up, and orientation equals vector2 dot down. And that should be it. Yep. Alright, so that's how we're setting orientation. And now we're good here. We've got our orientation set. We've got our get target tile is all done. And now all we need to do is actually create 2 more methods. And those are going to be to release the ghosts from the ghost house. So we're going to first create one called release pink ghost. Alright, and all that really is it's going to say if ghost type equals ghost type dot pink and is in ghost house. We're going to set is in ghost house equal to false. And then we're going to create a generic method for releasing the ghosts, release ghosts. And we've got our ghost release timer that we're going to increment by time.delta time. Then we're going to say if ghost release timer is greater than pinky release timer, then we are going to release the pink ghost. And let me look at something else here. Alright, so now we just have to call this release ghosts method, and we're going to do that from the update method so that our ghosts, our ghost release method, so let's see here, release ghosts. So at every frame it's going to check to see if more ghosts need to be released. And then we need to add one more thing here, and that goes in the move method, okay, right here. So if target node doesn't equal current node, and target node doesn't equal null, and not is in ghost house, because we don't want the ghost moving if he's in the ghost house, okay? So once he's out of the ghost house, when this is false, the ghost can move just fine. So let's save that. Remember to save the Pac-Man script because we've made changes to that. And let's go into Unity, because we've got to actually go into these prefabs now and make a few modifications. So if we go to the prefabs and we go to the pink ghost, for instance, first of all we need to change his ghost type to pink. We need to change his starting position, okay, that's his starting node. That is, let's see here, let's move this out of the way, 12 and 16 is where we were. And then it's pellet 206. Let's put him back. Alright. So pellet 206 is what we need. Alright, so that's now set up. And he is in the ghost house. And we're going to keep his release timer at 5. And we don't need to change any of those other things. So now let's have a look at Blinky. We've already got his starting position. He is not in a ghost house, and he is red. So we don't need to change anything there. So, I think there's one more thing. Yes. We need to create a tag for these. So let's see here, because we've created a tag for Pac-Man. So we're just gonna create a tag and call it Ghost. And then we're gonna go back to our prefabs and tag both ghosts with the ghost tag. I'll show you why in just a second, actually right now. If we go back to our script and go to game board, right here where we've got, let's see here, if o.name doesn't equal Pac-Man, and o.name nodes, non-nodes, maze, pellets, we have to now add and o.name doesn't equal ghost, or sorry, o.tag doesn't equal ghost. Okay. Because we want to make sure that these don't get counted as pellets, for one, and they don't get added to the array as board pieces. So that's why we're doing this check. So now, with all hope, we should be good to go. We should be able to press play and the ghosts should do what they're supposed to do. So let's have a look here and see what happens. Oh, Blinky, you disappoint me. And Pinky, you did not do what you were supposed to do. But they are following Pac-Man just like they're supposed to. And see how they chose different paths? Alright, so what happened here? I think what happened was his starting position isn't correct. So 194 is his starting position. So let's put him back. Oops. That was a 12. So 194 because we did move him. Alright, so let's press play. And he's still being crazy. So I'm gonna make him also go left first, I think. Let's have a look here. So he's not in a ghost house, so his direction should be left. And he should be choosing the next node. And then choosing the next node, getting the target tile, and we're setting his target tile to Pac-Man's position. And then he's not in a ghost house, so he's moving. So the weird part is that he's actually going to the right when he's supposed to be going to the left. So why does he do that? Why does he change direction? Uh-huh. We should take this direction out of here. That makes more sense. Alright, so let's press play again. There we go. And here comes Pinky. And we're good. Yep. Everything looks great. And yeah, we have not done any collision detection between Pac-Man and the ghost. But that's it. That is the beginning of the AI for Blinky and Pinky. And next week when we come back, actually, remember, I'm taking a day off. I don't know. That's debatable. I still may do an episode. We'll see. So whenever we come back for the next episode, either next week or the week after, we're gonna do the rest of the AI. And then we're also going to get more into the tutorial after that. We're going to get more into our different modes, like our scatter mode and our frighten mode and all that other stuff. So we have like tons more stuff to do with our Pac-Man game. And I believe, yeah, part 12 is going to be the ghost modes, the chase, scatter, and frightened. And then we're going to do collision detection with Pac-Man. And then we're going to do like resetting and keeping track of lives. We've got consuming ghosts. We've got bonus items, sounds and menus, keeping track of high scores. So we've got tons more to do with this game. So hopefully you guys liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments go down below. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember, to get notifications of when new videos come out, don't forget to press that bell, because then you'll actually get notifications, right? So that's it. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.